Today we're going to be talking about how to make pie charts in Google Spreadsheets. A pie chart is a type of graph that we use when we have qualitative data instead of quantitative. So quantitative data would be something that you measure with a number. So for example, if I say someone was 123 centimeters tall, that is a quantitative measurement. Qualitative data is when you have categories that things are placed into. So for example, tall versus short is qualitative. The color of the rainbow that something is qualitative. The city that people were born in would be all examples of qualitative data. So here we have an experiment which took qualitative data. For this experiment, a girl went to the exploratorium and went into the monochromatic room, which shines a particular color of light, and showed cards to people and asked them what color they thought the cards were. So you can see here that for the first individual, they thought that card 1 was orange, the second thought it was orange, the third thought it was violet, and so on. Now, the way this data is currently laid out, it's really hard for Google Spreadsheets to turn it into a graph. So what we need to do is rearrange it in such a way as to make it easy to understand. So what you're going to do is make a list of every wedge you want to be on your graph. So here, if I want a wedge for the people who thought it was red, a wedge for the people who thought it was orange, etc., I'm going to make all of those listed out and then show how many people fell into each of those categories. So 5 people thought it was red, 10 thought it was orange, 2 yellow, etc. Once I finish doing that, I'm just going to highlight my data, and highlighting is just clicking and dragging, and then go over to the Insert Chart button, which is over here. Once I'm here, I will click on the Charts tab, and then select Pie Chart from the list. You have a couple different options for the type of pie chart you want. Choose whichever one you like. It's really just a cosmetic choice. Once you've done that, go over to Customize, which will let us do things like change the color of the wedges or add in titles. You always want to make sure that your titles have a descriptive title. So here we go, we'll call this one Card 1. And you'll notice that it automatically updates over here as soon as I've entered in my results. You can change the location of the legend. So for example, I could move it to the bottom, I could set it to labeled, whatever you like. This is just a cosmetic change. Down at the bottom, you'll see you have the option to change the color of each slice on your pie chart. So for example, right now my orange slice is in red and my red slice is in blue, and that would be really confusing for anyone who is looking at this chart. So I'm going to go ahead and change those. So you just select whichever slice you wanted to edit. So here, the red slice, and then change the color of it. So I'm going to make my red slice red, and you'll notice it changed over here. Now my red slice is in red. And I'm going to do this for each of my wedges. Once I'm satisfied with how my chart looks, I'm just going to hit the Insert key, and the chart is going to appear in my spreadsheet. It'll sometimes take a moment to load, but there you can see my pie chart. If I realize I've made a mistake or I want to change something, all you have to do is click on your chart, and this little box with an arrow in it will appear. If I click on that, then I'll see all the options. So Advanced Edit will take me back to the screen I was in before where I can edit my chart. And if I want to change something, so say I want to change how my legend looks, once I hit Update, then it'll update in my chart. And that's really all there is to it.